Let me tell you about myself, who I am. I am the Credit Queen 323 of America's Tax Services and Credit Repair. And I basically and simply as can be change lives through repairing and educating on credit. What we're going to be talking about today is because all this week, we've been talking about credit card utilization. Today, we're going to talk about spreading out charges over multiple credit cards in order to maintain our credit card utilization. Just to back up a little bit and refresh everything that we were talking about over the last 4 days. Credit card utilization is the quickest way to build your credit score. It's also the fastest way to drop your credit score. Anytime you go over 30% of credit card utilization, your score is going to tank. If you max out your credit card, your score will drop drastically. I've seen many clients in the palace who have typically 800 credit scores go to about a 500, 600 credit score by maxing out one credit card. Which brings us into today's topic about how we can avoid being taken back when we have an emergency. Like, say for example, the lower your credit score is, the lower your credit limits are. If you have what most people start out with, $200 credit limit, and you spend more than $20, because in the palace I recommend that you stay under 10%, then you're going to drastically drop your credit score. So instead of spending more than $20 on one particular credit card, you can go ahead and spread out the payment over a series of credit cards, depending on how many credit cards you have in your possession. So let's say you have 3 credit cards in your possession, right? You have a bill for $60. Go ahead and spread $20 out over those 3 particular credit cards. So that way your overall credit usage won't be so damaging and catastrophic to your credit score. It's just basically moving money around again. However, when it comes to that particular scenario, you have to be very cautious, because some credit scoring modules, they use overall credit usage, okay? So they can still take your overall credit usage and drop it down to being over 10%. So you want to be aware of that, okay? You can spread it out over credit cards, but you got to be cautious, because some credit scoring modules will take your overall credit usage and apply that. Basically, what I recommend for you guys is this. When it comes to using your credit cards for emergencies, for high purchase options, just really taking the time out to say, is it worth me taking my credit score for? Really sit down and ask yourself what it is that your goal is. Make sure and weigh the pros and cons. Is it worth me tanking my credit score? Is it going to affect me achieving my end goal? Let's say, for example, you want to go out and purchase a car, right? But you know that you've run into something, or you need to pay something off with the credit card. Then you want to go ahead and ask yourself, if I use this credit card today and my credit score tanks, is it going to stop me from obtaining the goals that I set forth for myself? If the answer is yes, then don't use the credit card, okay? But if it's something that's important and you have to go ahead and use that credit card to make that purchase, then that's okay as well. Just make sure you pay it off by the time that you need to go ahead and use your credit to get what it is that you need. Okay? Remember, we want to use our credit to build our credit worthiness. We want to look good when it comes to these credit lenders and these banks when we're going to get applied. So the more credit that you have available that's not touched, the better you look in their eyes. When you have good credit, you're up there with hitting the lotto. It's nothing that you're going to need or want that you cannot get. It's okay to spread out your charges over multiple cards. And you really have to decide what's best for you at this moment, because emergencies happen, things come up. I understand that. I have them all the time. I ask of you to sit down and ask yourself, what is it and where do you see yourself in your goals, and how is credit going to get you there? And if making that purchase is going to tank your credit score, is it worth it? That's all we can say.